on your phone all season long. They're going to be doing free shirts courtesy of Phantom Fireworks, Larry Doby celebration. Phantom Fireworks next Friday the 5th. I got 4 tickets for you. You got 3 pals? That'll be caller 10. Guardians, Giants, next Friday night, right around the corner here. Good luck, 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
The official show of those weirdos who ride shotgun with their bare feet on the dashboard.
You're a weirdo, but let's do this.
On 100.7.
WMMS.
Courses in America. They average over 150 acres apiece. That's 3 million plus acres. 4,820 square miles. You could build 2 Rhode Islands and a Delaware for the homeless on the land currently being wasted on this meaningless, mindless, arrogant, elitist, racist. There's another thing. The only blacks you'll find in country clubs are carrying trays and a boring game. Boring game for boring people. You ever watch golf on television? It's like watching flies fuck.
They had more protests, this time on the golf course. I love this stuff. I love when they're running out on baseball fields. I love when they're running out during golf events. I love when these kids go off half-cocked, maybe fully cocked. I don't know. A girl wearing a T-shirt that says, "No golf on a dead planet." Climate change protesters. They're out in force. Again, not going to change anything, but, a little too late. But it was the Travelers Championship. Scotty Scheffler. Isn't this the guy who got arrested a while ago and, they were all freaking out because they thought he was going to go to jail or something?
He was trying to get to the tournament, and a cop arrested him.
Right.
Everybody's like, hey, that's the guy in the tournament. He's in the lead right now. And
yeah, but was he speeding or trying to get away or something?
No, he was. I think he was just driving on the berm or whatever.
Oh.
Nothing crazy.
Oh, I thought they got him
and
for
he's just
something
hey,
else.
I'm just trying to get there.
Yeah. Well, I thought once they got him, he put some big...
he might have.
Yeah. Well, listen, what do they always say? Hey, just comply.
Yep.
Hey, comply. Everything will be fine if you just comply. Scotty Scheffler, whoever you are, I don't pay attention to golf. I know this guy's a big deal, I think, right?
I don't know.
I couldn't care less about golf, but they draw a huge, huge crowd. And that's what protesters are looking for. You got to get out in front of a lot of people. Now, you're certainly not going to change any minds at a golf event, but you got to love the moxie. I love it. The still shots. Look at this. Cops grabbing this girl, buzzed head. No golf on a dead planet. They got 4 cops.
It's a good album title.
King Zach's early work, I believe. And just out there letting people know what's up. I love it. They ran amok, is how they described it. But it didn't really, a little stoppage in play, but it didn't screw anything up. I think if you're going to get out there, you should start to F some things up.
That's my point.
Kick the ball.
You're going to get arrested?
Yeah.
Bring a shovel. You know what I mean? Start digging
in the greens,
divots.
Get a post hole digger and get out there.
Because then they can't play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These people who just run out there with a T-shirt on, I'm like, you need to be doing more destruction than this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's one thing because you're going to get pinched and you might pull a trespassing charge, but they aren't so committed that they want to grab a destruction of public property charge. And I say, listen,
the private
these
property,
are probably,
probably a destruction of private property.
Either way, sure.
Yeah.
Private, public. These are probably kids who come from well-to-do families. And so mom and dad can probably take care of things. And so there's very, very little real cost to them. This was in Connecticut.
Oh, boy. We've got a whole group of protesters here. And they've been tackled on the ground, on the green. Police have responded quickly, but we've got, I see 4 protesters that have been handcuffed. They just came flying down the hill out of the gallery.
I know golf was created in Scotland, right? Just FYI.
I think they're celebrating the cops tackling.
I
That's a
see.
very American thing.
Right. Yes. State power. Yeah, so protesters ran onto the green. They had spray paint and they were throwing flares. And the crowd just wanted to see some golf. No one had their balls disturbed. The placement didn't change, of course. Or CBS had to cut the crowd mics because they all started chanting a-holes.
See, or even that, like, okay, no one had the balls weren't moved. Then bring 4 dozen balls and just shake
Yes!
them everywhere
That's
so
what I'm
nobody
saying.
knows
Yeah.
what's what. You're
Dude,
not disrupting anything.
You're not going to change anyone's mind, so have some fun with it.
Listen, you're probably going to jail anyway.
Yeah.
So do something about it.
Yes. Don't make it a hollow statement.
Take a
It's already,
bunch of
it's already
laxatives.
hollow enough, all
Yeah.
right?
Take a bunch of laxatives and poop on the green. Everywhere. They can't continue to play if you disrupt it like
There's
that.
poop everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Get a bunch
it
of
looks
gophers.
like there's a lot of, looks like some diarrhea on the ninth hole there, Frank.
If you really wanted to mess things up, you get a bunch of gophers
Yeah.
and then start playing Kenny Loggins music. And them gophers are going to be dancing, and people are going to be like, we have to return this to nature because look how cute these gophers are.
You want me to kill the golfers? The golfers! Excuse me, but isn't killing the golfers going to cause some problems? The golfers!
All right.
Kill the golfers! God, I haven't seen Caddyshack in a long time. Yeah, so throw some diarrhea down the ninth hole,
Yeah.
and you know,
That's what I mean.
you get
And
a hole in
couple
one.
baby
You
Ruths in the pool.
gotta pull your ball out, and it's gonna be covered in poo. Yeah, you're already gonna get scooped up. They're gonna throw you in a squad car. They're gonna charge you with something, and make it good. I mean, even what do they charge you with diarrhea on the ninth hole?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Dirty hole on the hole?
But I mean, there's, to your point, there's so many more things they could be doing. Because running out there with flares and
Yeah, it doesn't
they're
feel-
pulling their punches is what they're doing. These are probably the same people that sprayed the orange stuff on Stonehenge, right?
But at least that left a mark.
Yeah, they just hose it off. Of course, where do you hook up a hose at Stonehenge? You
Well,
think
they
got
said they use,
sprinkler
like
connections out
natural
there?
cornflower paint that
Yeah.
like washes off in
Washes
the rain.
off, yeah.
So they just got to wait for it to rain.
Yeah.
What do you care about enough that you would do this?
Protest?
Like, yeah. Like, knowingly probably get arrested, disrupt the peace. What do you care about
I
enough?
don't know. When I was in college, people were protesting the Gulf War, for instance. I was in college when the Gulf War broke out. And people were crapping their pants because obviously anytime you're in college and a war breaks out, which is usually, the rumors start to go around that they're going to reinstate the draft, right? And it never comes to anything, obviously. But that's what people were protesting when I was in college. But I didn't see people getting, there seemed to be more of the understanding that, well, there's going to be protests on campus. You don't have to get in there and start breaking skulls, right? It's baked into the cake. Now, I realize this isn't on a college campus. But even now on college campuses, and this is the concern that a lot of people have, is that they immediately call the cops in. Or they roll in, to get these. It's like, that's what you're supposed to be doing in college. You're like not really well informed on whatever issue you're protesting, but enough where you can get out. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But that wasn't me. I'm not that guy. I was too busy working. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine, I guess, something. But I wasn't.
But what would 58-year-old Alan protest?
I'm not 58, Mary.
Wow, when was your birthday? How old did you turn?
I'm 53 years old.
When did that happen?
I don't remember, but I'm not 58. That's the important part. I can't tell you what 58-year-old Alan will be doing in 5 years. But I don't know.
I don't know if there's anything I care about that much.
Well, but you also, it also kind of comes around to what is the issue of your day, right?
Well, it also comes down like how effective is the protest going to be?
Well, I mean, most protests don't do anything, But there's
You're
nothing.
right.
But civil disobedience, I think, is a very well, it's a
point-
fundamental part of American life, quite frankly. But it's also it can be instructive in getting information out there. But again, if people were just trying to call attention to the fact that the climate is changing rapidly, that'd be one thing. There were climate change protests when I was in college 30 years ago. They didn't do anything then, and they don't do anything now.
You were in college when you were 40? Isn't it nice to have you back?
Yeah, you know.
Look at me between the screens.
You could just as easily be doing this on camera in New York.
But there's a vibe in here.
Yeah, there sure is.
Like-
Yep. I'm going to call you on your 53rd birthday
Say happy
from my
70th
hospital
birthday.
bed.
You're going to be dead.
Nah, I'll outlive everybody. What are you talking about? Only the good die young, baby.
I feel like one of my family members would have to have been kidnapped or something for me to.
Like,
have
what
to
are
be
you
a big-
protesting?
What are you
in that?
protesting?
Yeah, that-
Kidnapping?
I'm
Don't
not
kidnap
protesting.
people.
Don't kidnap my people.
I'd like run out and be like, help me find them. You know what I mean?
But that's not a protest. That's you on the news
I
going,
guess that's true.
my sister's been kidnapped. Please find her. I checked her OnlyFans, and she was nowhere to be found.
She hasn't spread her cheeks in weeks.
Ah.
Everyone's upset.
Yep. So, yeah, get some gophers out there or something. But I love when those kids run out there and they're screaming something. And, you know, you go back to, like, people who were protesting the Vietnam War, and that's why the response to these kinds of protests now seems so out of whack. Protests, by and large, on campus or otherwise, are exceedingly peaceful compared to what, oh, no, kids have tents on the quad. You know, compared to what was going on when people were protesting the Vietnam War, like they were bombing like buildings and stuff. They were occupying buildings on campus, off campus. You know, they were bombing like police stations and stuff or draft board offices. And I'm not saying that's the way to go, but I'm just saying comparatively to now, where you got a bunch of kids chanting and holding signs,
They're allowed to do that, right?
of course they're allowed to do that.
Well, is there rules because it's like a private property or something? Like you can only protest in public
But that's
grounds?
it's always been that. Protests on campus, like that's when you're supposed to do that
I'm
stuff.
saying, can they catch them on a technicality?
I'm sure they can. A lot of these universities now, they don't want anything to do with this. I mean, again, it all goes back to money, but they don't want anything to do with it. But that's what college is supposed to be.
Okay, so what if one of your kids got swooped up? One of your kids is going out and got a T-shirt and gluing their hands to the floor of the basketball game. How would you respond to that? You got to drive to Michigan State. Like, how would you handle that?
I'd deal with it. I'd want all the information.
Well, would you congratulate them? Because you say you love stuff like this. Would you be like, good job?
If it was something that they felt compelled to do, yeah. If it was something that they felt strongly enough about and felt compelled to do in good faith, yeah, that's them. I mean, my son's going to be 24 at Christmas. My daughter turns 20 this coming weekend. They're adults. So, yeah, they're adults. But that's when you're supposed to be out there doing stuff. Because you are, by design, by the way, people go, oh, college kids are in a bubble. They don't know how the world. Yeah, that's the point. The point. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a bubble.
Would it make more of an impact if it were 50-year-olds doing this?
Would it make more of an impact if it were 50-year-olds?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If people were like
Look at Trump rallies.
I mean, some of the protesters that I've seen, like I think one of the guys that was doing the paint one at Stonehenge, I think he was an older guy.
But I mean, like,
I mean, you're always going to have old hippies or old people that are part of the cause, but I'm just saying, like Trump rallies, those are just old people protesting. They don't know about what, but
they're just
that's what that is, right?
Things aren't the same as they were when they were not how they
Different.
actually remember.
I guess my question is more like, would this be effective if all the members of a Fortune 500 company went out and slept in tents on the ground?
I can't even imagine that hypothetically.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, would that actually move the needle on, hey, what are we doing in Palestine type of thing?
No,
Or-
because the hoi polloi don't have any kind of sympathy for Fortune 500 CEOs. No.
10
But they're
billionaires could
losing
get more
money.
done, I think, than millions of people.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If whatever company loses millions of dollars because all of their employees are outside yelling, that wouldn't make someone do something instead of college kids who don't have jobs anyway?
If employees of a company were outside protesting, that happens all the time. I mean, employees go on strike. All the time, employees go,
But they go on strike for their own benefit.
we want to unionize.
What are they doing it for?
And the company goes,
for a
all right,
cause."
you're all fired.
So I'm saying, what if they do it for a global cause? If everyone what's a Fortune 500 company? I don't even know. If everyone who works for Meta was like, we're not working today. We are not doing anything until we draw attention to this. Or,
then Meta would be like, okay, we'll put a badge and you can temporarily change your profile picture to let's save the world for 2 weeks. And then we'll donate 1/10
But I don't think
of
they
our
would do that.
earnings. Yeah.
If everybody, well, you're never going to get everybody to do it. But I'm saying, like, if all your employees and you're just bleeding money because nobody's working.
But they're not bleeding money.
They
They're
would
not.
be if nobody was
No.
working for a week.
They'd have people, nobody domestically, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they go,
I guess
people
we'll
in
just
India
outsource
work
it.
double
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
They got people all around the world, if you're talking about tech companies. People all around the world.
I'm just talking about the companies that have the most money, which I would assume means they have a bigger pull.
You mean if Walmart employees stood out in the parking lot and said, we're not working?
All of them, every Walmart.
Yeah. Walmart, I go, we're hiring. And you'd people lining up to go work at Walmart. And they'd have an inflatable rat outside and, they'd
And they
scream
still
scab
just
when
make,
those people walked in. But
people would still be using self-checkout.
Right.
So there's no way to fix it.
Pretty much.
To fix what?
Anything.
Well,
To
I don't
end
know.
the war or climate change or...
Well, the climate that ship has sailed. I mean, if we were going to do something, it should have been a long time before now. But people are, lazy and confused.
Oh, and it's not just that people are lazy and confused. People feel helpless because the real problems aren't even getting addressed. Like we talked about last week, where factory farming is a huge issue, and that ain't changing.
No, because corporations for decades now have put the onus on people instead of what they should be doing.
It's your grocery bags.
It's the right. It's your
Straws.
straws. It's your grocery bags. It's recycle your stuff. Right. So people are understandably calling bull shrimp on a lot of that stuff.
When I'm a billionaire, I'll make a difference. You wait. What is that?
What's the first? What will be your
What is
first
that?
order of business?
What do you mean? What is that?
Is that a sign that you don't think I'll help or that you don't think I'll be a billionaire?
Because for a little of both.
You
I don't
believe
think
in
you'll
me.
be a
You
billionaire.
don't believe in me.
And when you are a billionaire, you will be. If you make it to being a billionaire, it's going to be because you are so greedy that you are not going to help.
That's not true. If I make it to be a billionaire, it's going to be because I won 100. What?
What fell into your lap? You mean?
No. I'm going to win the Mega Millions 3
That's what I mean. It fell into your
3
lap.
times.
Right.
Yeah. That's how many it would take to be a billionaire.
Can I call you Billion Mayor if that happens?
Yes. I want to be.
Be a billionaire so freaking bad.
Forgot about this song.
This is one of my top Bruno Mars.
This is like
Travie McCoy.
such a big song for like that summer. Like me and
yeah.
my kids just driving around listening to it all the time.
Was he the gym class heroes dude?
Travie?
Travie McCoy, yeah. No, I got a break. If you want to send a text 35192, if you want to join Bill.